part 2 of the Adore mini book class. If you came here looking for funny business, you have come to the wrong place. There will be no practical jokes, no funny faces, and no general hilarity. And no goofing off. This is a serious class. So now that I've explained that, let's get started with the class.
Begin by scoring 3 inches from the edge of the top tab. Fold and crease so that the flap is at the back of the page. Distress all the edges of the page with brown ink. For a consistent look, I'm going to be inking the edge of every single piece of cut paper that I use in this project, or I'll sand the edges of it for a distressed look. Attach a piece of pattern paper to the front. Use a hole punch to repunch the holes. Now we're going to use the center of the chipboard book plate from the first video. When covering chipboard with paper, I like to use a solid glue stick. After smoothing the paper down, use your scissors to trim, but you don't have to be exact. We're going to use sandpaper in the next step. Sandpaper will not only quickly trim the edges of the paper, but it will also seal the edges of the paper to the chipboard. Once the edges are all smooth, age the edges with brown ink. Repunch the holes from the front. Stamp a sentiment onto the front of the piece in brown ink. I'm using the Tiny Typewriter alphabet set. Cut a piece of cranberry red cardstock and use the rougher side of the sanding block to distress the edges. Then, using the suede sanding technique shown in the first video, use the fine grit of the sanding block to distress the remainder of the cardstock. Cut a piece of twill ribbon for the bottom of the page. Fray the end slightly by pulling on the threads. Use a quick drying tacky glue to attach the ribbon. Pat gently to avoid having the glue seep through to the front of the ribbon. I'm just using a single glue dot to hold the chipboard piece in place until I can insert the brads. Use your paper piercing tool to quickly spread the back of the brads. Page 1, all done! Now we're going to make a pocket page for page 2. Remember to ink and distress all the edges of your papers. Don't cover both sides of your paper and then try to repunch your holes, otherwise you might not be able to find them. This patterned piece for the flap has a more subtle pattern. It's a perfect place for some handwritten journaling. I'm going to create a layered flower using small scraps of the cardstock and pattern papers. Give the flower more dimension by rolling the edges upward. A single glue dot will hold the bottom of the pocket closed. Now I'm making a simple tag to insert into the pocket. Cut a small piece of twill and fold in a V shape. Just a little adhesive will hold it there until the next step. Staple in an X shape. This looks more decorative, and it will securely hold the twill to the cardstock. Thanks for watching. More pages to come.
If you came here looking for